People talk about Elon Musk like he's a headline. They argue about his tweets, his personality, his controversies. But they're missing the bigger picture. Because Elon Musk isn't just running companies. He's positioning himself at the very center of industries that will define how money, energy, transportation, communication, and even national power work for the next decade. To understand where Elon Musk might be by 2026, you have to stop thinking about him as a billionaire CEO and start thinking about him as an allocator of risk. Every single one of his major companies exists in a space that most governments struggle to control, and that most corporations are too cautious to even enter. Let's be real. Tesla wasn't just an electric car company. It was a bet that energy, software, and manufacturing would eventually merge into a single, massive platform. SpaceX wasn't just about building rockets. It was about lowering the cost of getting to space until it became economically unavoidable for everyone else. And his other ventures, like Neuralink, the Boring Company, and even X, aren't just side projects. They are probes, sent out to find future choke points in our economy and society. The question isn't whether all of them will succeed. The real question is whether enough of them can reshape the entire landscape before the traditional systems we know today have a chance to catch up. Let's start with Tesla, because by 2026, Tesla's importance might have less to do with cars and a lot more to do with energy and autonomy. The electric vehicle market is no longer a niche. Every major automaker is in the game now. The profit margins are getting tighter. And the competition is fierce. That phase of the race is over. The next phase is all about software and scale. We're talking about autonomous driving, fleet data, and energy storage. If Tesla manages to achieve even partial autonomy at a massive scale, it will fundamentally change labor economics, logistics, and transportation costs across entire industries. Think about trucking, taxis, delivery services all transformed. And even if it doesn't achieve that, Tesla still becomes one of the world's largest energy infrastructure companies. Through its batteries, its grid storage solutions, and its solar products, it's already embedding itself into the power system. So by 2026, the question investors will be asking isn't how many cars did Tesla sell? It's going to be how deeply embedded is Tesla in the global energy system? Now, let's look at SpaceX. This is where Musk's influence becomes geopolitical. SpaceX already dominates the satellite launch market. No one else is even close. And Starlink, its satellite internet service, has quietly become one of the most important communications networks on the planet. Not because it's flashy, but because it works in places where nothing else does. By 2026, Starlink won't just be about providing internet access to remote homes. It's about resilience. It's for disaster zones when ground infrastructure is wiped out. It's for military communications in contested areas. It's for enabling remote economies that were previously cut off from the world. Governments don't like being dependent on anyone, but they rely on reliability. And SpaceX provides that reliability faster and cheaper than anyone else. This creates a really unusual dynamic. A private company operating critical infrastructure that entire nations depend on. This isn't completely unprecedented in history, but it is extremely rare at this scale. And then there's X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. It's often dismissed as just chaos. But from a strategic perspective, it's probably Musk's most misunderstood asset. It's not a social media company in the traditional sense anymore. He's trying to turn it into something else entirely. It's an experiment in real-time information flow, digital payments, personal identity, and the global attention economy. By 2026, X doesn't need to win the social media wars. It just needs to become a functional layer for payments, communication, and media distribution, a kind of everything app. If it even partially succeeds, it becomes a new form of digital infrastructure. If it fails, it's a very expensive lesson, but for Musk, it's not a fatal one. Neuralink and the Boring Company are the long-term bets. They aren't about making profits in 2026. They're about optionality. They give Musk the ability to enter future markets early, to test the constraints, and to be present and ready the moment regulations loosen or a key technology finally catches up. So, what connects all of this? What's the common thread? Elon Musk consistently positions his companies right where regulation lags behind innovation. He operates in the gray zone, not illegally, but just ahead of the consensus. That's the space where financial returns are volatile and risky, but also where they can be outsized. So what does 2026 realistically look like for Musk's empire? It probably doesn't look like Mars colonies or full self-driving cars everywhere. It will likely be more subtle. It looks like Tesla becoming less of a car company and more of an energy and data platform. It looks like SpaceX becoming too essential for governments to ignore, with Starlink expanding into markets that state-run systems just can't replace. And it looks like X evolving into something closer to a digital utility than just a social network. The risk in all of this is very real. Execution matters. Regulation will eventually catch up. Capital cycles matter. And Musk's personality and leadership style amplify both the potential upside and the potential downside. But historically, systems don't change because they're comfortable. They change because someone or something forces them to adapt faster than they had planned. And that's what Elon Musk represents, not certainty, not some genius mythology, but pressure. Intense pressure on industries that were never designed for speed. By 2026, Elon Musk may not be universally liked. His companies may not all succeed in their wildest ambitions. But the industries he touches will not look the same as they did before he arrived, and that right there is the real story. It's not the man. It's the systems that are moving under him. If you want to understand the future of money, energy, and power, you don't watch the headlines. You watch where the risk is being placed, long before it becomes obvious to everyone else. Thanks for watching. If you found this perspective interesting, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the systems that shape our world. We'll see you in the next one.